It's a great honour for me to take over as chair of the NCRI at this time. I follow in the footsteps of a very distinguished group of people who've preceded me as chair. And we've achieved a great amount in the first 10 years of the NCRI, and as we look forward, we have a very well established annual conference. We have a very well established position for the NCRI globally in terms of what it's brought to the UK scene. What will be important looking forward will be to understand for the partnership what are the key priorities, what are the key issues they want to address, and making sure that we're as well positioned as we can possibly be to address those over the coming years. What's special about the NCRI is that it covers the entire spectrum of issues and concerns that we as research funders have, but also that cancer patients and their families have. So we look across the entirety of the questions that we want to address in cancer and in cancer research. And we do this by bringing a broad spectrum of partners together: government funders, charity funders, the Association of the British Pharmaceutical Industry, all of us coming together to share common issues, common concerns, common problems. The NCRI partners collectively spend more than £500 million every year on cancer research in the UK. And it's incredibly important that every pound of that is spent as wisely as possible, because essentially all of it comes from the British public, either in the form of taxes for the government funders or in the form of voluntary donations for the charity funders. And so we have a huge responsibility to make sure that we get the best possible value out of every one of those pounds that we spend on cancer research. In terms of the things that we do as a partnership, we engage in a number of quite different initiatives depending on what is the nature of the problem, what is the nature of the question we want to address. In some cases, we'll put together a broad consortium of partners to really focus in on a particular issue. And an example of that might be what we've done through the National Prevention Research Initiative, where we haven't just focused on cancer in terms of prevention, but across a whole range of chronic diseases. Or we might come together as a relatively smaller group of people who are interested in a very particular area, such as around PET imaging, where we might look at putting some money into addressing issues of quality assurance for PET research trials, or for trials that involve PET as an imaging modality. Perhaps one of the most successful things we've done over the last few years is the radiotherapy initiative, where we've tried to really boost the amount of radiotherapy research that's going on in the UK through a broad spectrum of different work programs, ranging from the infrastructure, capacity building, through to the development of novel studies. And again, that's involved a broad range of research partners that have been concerned about boosting this area of activity. And what all of these different initiatives demonstrate actually is that no two of them are the same. Each of them involves different groups of funders addressing different types of problems, and often in very different ways. For many people, the NCRI is synonymous with the annual conference that we hold every year in November. At the NCRI, what we do is we bring funders together all the way through the year to consider areas where we might work together. But what the conference does is it also brings the whole of the research community together. It's the very best of all the science that's going on in Britain around the whole spectrum of cancer research, from very basic science, understanding what cancer is, why it happens, all the way through to big clinical studies and population studies, and also through to palliative care and end-of-life care research. It's also not only important for showcasing the best of both British and international science, but it's a great forum for people to network, to talk to each other, to form new collaborations, to form new partnerships for future cancer research.